I would describe my first 4 years. Listen, I was hired here to not just be the head coach. I was hired here to return a storied franchise to winning regular season games, playoff games, and Super Bowls. And I haven't done that.
He hadn't, and he mentioned that he was going to speak with owner Stephen Ross later in the week. He did. Ross's statement saying this today: after careful evaluation and extensive discussion since the season ended, I have made the decision that our organization is in need of comprehensive change. I informed Mike McDaniel this morning that he's been relieved of his duties as head coach. I love Mike and want to thank him for his hard work, commitment, and the energy he brought to our organization. Mike is an incredibly creative football mind whose passion for the game and his players was evident every day. I wish him and his family the best moving forward. Now, how do the Dolphins move forward? Well, it seems like the man you're about to see is the guy they are going to target, and that is longtime Ravens head coach John Harbaugh, who just parted ways with Baltimore this week after 18 successful seasons, 180 regular season wins, including a Super Bowl title. It was a surprise move. In the moment that he was available, I think it became clear to many teams, including the Dolphins, that they had to do all they could do to try to get him. So the Dolphins now will do that. Stephen Ross has a long-time relationship with the Harbaugh family. They know each other well for years. Remember, it was years ago that Harbaugh wanted to hire John's brother, Jim, when he was the head coach at Michigan. Jim eventually stayed there, went on to coach the Chargers. But that will be the top target in discussion for the Miami Dolphins, is trying to find a way to bring John Harbaugh to Miami. Dolphins also have to hire a new general manager, which they could do by the end of the day tomorrow. So there's a lot to discuss. As for McDaniel, he did release a statement a short time ago. In part, he said he lived a dream here in Miami, something that he will cherish forever, the opportunity he got with the Dolphins. But McDaniel no longer the head coach of the Miami Dolphins after 4 seasons. The Dolphins have cleaned house. They now lead a general manager and a head coach, and the search for that has started immediately. That's a story from here in Scottsdale, Arizona. I'm Will Manso, Local 10 News.
Well, who knows what the next few days and weeks will bring, but what in your mind is the order of operations? It seemed a little strange earlier this week when Mike McDaniel said he may assist in the GM search, but now obviously both those positions are open. Do you think the Fins will move on a general manager first? Can they wait that long with Harbaugh available?
Well, I think to answer your question, it's simple. They will hire a GM first because John Harbaugh isn't likely going to meet with teams till at least next week. You want to have some sort of structure in place. I will tell you, the Dolphins are down to 3 finalists. They have been interviewing general managers now for the last week and a half or so, virtually and then in person. They are down to 3 candidates. One of those candidates has a connection to the Chargers and has a connection to the Harbaugh family. You would think that would be one of the top candidates. But whoever it may be, the Dolphins, want to have someone that they feel is the right choice for the future. But if it could be someone that has a connection to John Harbaugh, I think that would be even better. Again, Stephen Ross, you can say he's a lot of things. One thing he's not afraid to do is spend money and make decisions like this. He has cleaned house and now has the opportunity, again, to hire that general manager, and then for that general manager to go pursue the head coach, which number 1 on that list will be John Harbaugh.
All right, got a clean slate, lots to work with. Okay, thanks so much, Will. We'll be talking to you later on. Lots going on out there in Arizona as well. And our coverage turns now to the Hard Rock Stadium.
Local 10's Rosh Lowe joining us live with fan reaction to the coach being fired. Hi, Rosh.
Okay, the first thing this noon is, what do you do if you're a Dolphins fan? It's been heartbreak after heartbreak. And when you think about this firing today, you think about all the expectations back 4 years ago. You remember that, right? As we get to some video. There was all this hope around Tua, and they signed Tyreek Hill, and they had that dynamic offense with Jaden Waddle and Raheem Mostert, and the entire National Football League was talking about this young head coach. They called him an offensive genius, and it was working for some time, except the Dolphins never really succeeded. And then the writing was really on the wall earlier this season when they started 1-6. Of course, they won a couple of games in a row, but then there was that game in Pittsburgh, which they lost, and it put them out of playoff contention. And the final game of the season against the Patriots up in New England, when they just absolutely got walloped, the fans were saying, look, enough is enough. What's going on with Tua? What's going on with Tyreek Hill? We need something better. And in fact, that was echoed today when we spoke with fans who said, look, Mike McDaniel, he had his opportunity. He had 4 years. He had that star quarterback in Tua back then. He had Tyreek Hill. Just didn't get the job done. Let's listen to those fans.
He may have needed it. It might be time for a coaching switch because everything been going downhill for the Dolphins. Then you have its moments. You know how Miami is. It have its moments where it get your hopes up real good, where they start doing good, and then it just goes shut right back down. So I feel like it's time for a reset.
The best choice for the Dolphins because I believe McDaniel's had enough time to show if he was, up to the task. And at the end of the day, on the really important games, we always came out short. So I think it was the best choice for the Dolphins. And now probably the next step is a new quarterback.
Yeah, you have to really feel if you're a Dolphins fan. I mean, we've been waiting for years for some modicum of success, just something. And as I mentioned before, there was just so much hope with Tua and Tyreek and that dynamic offense. And now that whole offense, Tua was benched, is a question mark. And can I tell you something else what fans are talking about? Lamar Jackson, the quarterback for the Ravens, who obviously was coached by John Harbaugh and is from South Florida. Who will be the next face of the Dolphins? Who will be the next quarterback of the Dolphins? And perhaps more importantly, does hope exist for Dolphins fans? Well, that hope may exist in the new head coach. We're live outside Hard Rock Stadium. I'm Rosh Lowe, Local 10 News.
All right, Rosh, thank you. Stay with us for that continuing coverage of the Miami Dolphins firing Mike McDaniel. Very latest all throughout the day. We have it for you on air and online at local10.com.